Hi, I'm Putnam, a programmer who's been brought on to help program Dwarf Fortress. Over the last couple of months, I've been working on a new modding system for the game, made to accommodate future magical endeavors.
I beg your pardon? What? Alright, consider me curious. I'm listening.
Here is some of the new Lua script. Those who could read the RAWs may actually recognize some of what they're looking at. This is, indeed, the RAWs for vampires. Fully visible, open source, and modifiable. You can make your own vampires, of course, and your own major curses that can be used in place of vampires. And you can remove vampires entirely from the game if you want, and use your own, without the use of world gen options. Every single procedural object, except instruments, is now in the Lua.
So the first thing I want to say is that at the end of this video, Putnam does mention that this is not going to be releasing in a public fashion until after Adventure Mode leaves the beta branch and goes into the public branch. But this is some extremely exciting news. One of the things that a lot of people have cited about me in the past is that I've always been a little bit hesitant towards Dwarf Fortress mods, due to the fact that the stuff that is moddable in Dwarf Fortress isn't exactly interesting to me, or hasn't been in the past. Now the reason for this is because Dwarf Fortress is an inherently procedural game. While there is static content in the game that doesn't change from run to run, such as the races and the different animals and the creatures and the plants and the stuff that exists in the world themselves, the actual interesting part of Dwarf Fortress, the procedural portions, haven't been that modifiable. The ability for people to create and modify procedural items within the game without having to use third-party plugins like DFHack is one of the most interesting developments I've seen in a very long time. Putnam also notes at the end of this video that was just released by Kitfox, and I'll link the full video in the description, that if you would like to take part in discussing these new tools, there is now space for that in the Kitfox modding Discord. If you'd like to learn more about the limitations and possibilities of these new tools that Putnam has been working on, Putnam cites at the end of the video that you should be directing yourself and your questions towards the DF modding section of the Kitfox Discord. I'll link the Kitfox Discord in the description of this video if you haven't joined it and would like to go find those rooms specifically. In my Discord, there's also a portion where you can share mods and discuss mods, but keep in mind, my Discord is not the size of the Kitfox Discord and nowhere near as active. This is exciting for me for two reasons. It's going to make mods interesting for me and make me more inclined to use mods, but it's also interesting because it gives us a kind of look under the hood at the other things that Putnam has been working on. It's been a while since I've had the opportunity to talk to her, and the last few times we did, it was mostly discussing bugs that had been fixed recently. I guess my question is, with the limitation of instruments, what kinds of things would you like to see coming to the Dwarf Fortress modding scene?
Instruments aren't there because they're the most complicated and monstrous procedural raw objects in the entire game, with the literal monsters being a distant second. And since the monsters took more than half the dev time, instruments are likely to be just as bad. You may expect them later, but the initial release could simply not have them. Here's an example mod, using the new capabilities. It adds a new type of procedural metal, Laughing Metal, which can be used by the Divine Metal generation, which checks for this table. It adds a new type of Forgotten Beast, Unbidden Spears, which are always intangible and insubstantial. That is to say, they're made of steam and fire, etc. And they can only show up on land, so you're not going to have fire Forgotten Beasts spawning in your water area and causing all sorts of trouble. And just to demonstrate the sheer power of this adds a bunch of new metals, an alloy with adamantine and every single metal in your game. In the current world, not just the vanilla game, but every single one added by vanilla and every mod you have. And these adamantine alloys are weighted so that they have at least 40% the strength of adamantine, and also, as you can see scrolling through the list here, are even colored, weighted based on how much adamantine is in it. It also adds a reaction to it, which as you can see here has a new little token. That'll be fun for the modders. And you can make these in Fortress mode, as long as you have the required metals.
Yeah, I don't want to just sit here and reiterate and repeat myself. This is huge. This is going to be extremely exciting to see and watch progress over the next couple of months, I think. Once again, please, I do implore you, jump into the Dwarf Fortress modding room on the Kitfox Discord if you are interested in taking part in modding this. And to anybody watching this video, what kind of mods would you like to see? Maybe you can give somebody some ideas. Thank you very much for watching this video. Sorry it's been a little bit since the last major one, and I've had some holdups this weekend, including making a lot of pickles, and also, of course, having to edit videos like this. So, things are going a little bit slow on my end here, but at the same time, progressing well. I do expect Dwarf Fortress patches to be a little bit sparse the next couple weeks, because Tarn's wedding is coming up, and he was just at a funeral, but here's hoping I'll get to talk to you guys soon about new beta branch updates. Thank you very much for watching, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you in the next one.